Good morning from day 9. Slept really well last night. I think I already said it yesterday, but slept with Mia, Emily, Isabel, and Soren. We did hear a couple mountain lions again last night, confirmed by a couple of the others too that the sounds I was hearing the previous night are in fact mountain lions, but especially in a group, felt really comfortable, wasn't really scared at all, didn't keep me awake like 2 nights ago. We camped near a cistern at mile 483, had enough water so I didn't need any water from there, and our next source of water today is just 4 miles up, but I still have 2 full liters, so I may not need to fill up there. My thought today was hiking about 21 miles if I still feel good doing that. It'll take me to camping right at another cistern and source of water, but there would be a lot of climbing today, about 3,800 feet total of climbing, so depends absolutely on how I feel. I don't think I went too in depth yesterday, so around mile 478 we cross a road, and on that road the town of Green Valley, a very small town, only 1,200 people live there, is 1.5 miles off trail, and there is a smokehouse there that was really good to eat at, and we wanted to eat there, so we hitched into town. The 13th car is the car that picked us up. Unfortunately for all of us, they were extremely nice, and we fit 4 of us in their car, but they were not local, and we didn't have enough service to know where in town the smokehouse was, so they dropped us off at the gas station right in town, and we figured that'd be good enough because it's such a small town, and then they left, and so we got service at the gas station and looked up the smokehouse, and it was still 0.7 miles away, so we had to walk that distance. And then when we were finishing up our meal at the smokehouse, where they also let us charge all of our stuff and refill all our water, the owner was super nice. But while we were finishing our meal, there was an older gentleman named Todd who lives in town, and he asked us when we were planning to go back to trail, and we let him know 5:30, and he said, okay, I'll be back at 5:30 to take you back to trail. So we didn't even have to hitch to get back, didn't even have to ask anyone. He came up and asked to take us back. So got back to trail and then did the last 3 miles to camp. This is a nature trail, just going along, and then random tent sites right here. So that's one of the big differences between the AT and the PCT from what I've seen in my short time so far. On the AT, people tend to congregate, there are the shelters where there's big tent pads, and on the PCT, tends to be more individual. Now I've stayed a lot in the last week at big campsites, but there tends to be a lot more dispersed camping where there's room for 1 to 3 tents. So far I've gone 4.5 miles today. I'm stopping for a breakfast break. Seems to be my pattern, what works best for me and similar to what I do at home. In terms of working out on a fasted stomach, I like to hike an hour or 2 before I stop for breakfast. I found something that really works well for me. We'll see how long it lasts, but it's these Pro meal bars. The Whole Berry Blast has been really working well for me the last couple days, and actually makes me want to eat my food. But yeah, just sitting here on this nice sandy beach with this little creek running by. I don't know how well this will show up on the GoPro, but here is the map that I'm using to navigate. This blue circle right here is where I am right now, and then all these little dots, for example, that says we're crossing Lake Hughes Road, and people have comments about it. Anyway, this is our elevation gain. We're going up, up, up. And for example, at a tent site, people comment good, talking about water flow and things like that. Anyway, basically We're going uphill a lot today, and then we go down and then back up. I really don't have an interest in going in this cave, but some people have and said it's as big as a 2-bedroom apartment inside. Now I may be absolutely wrong, and I don't know if it shows up on the GoPro, but right there, before the mountain range, there's a lot of wind turbines and big flat space. I think that's the Mojave Desert, where we're going to do the LA Aqueduct on Saturday night. It is 10 a.m. And I have officially done a 10 by 10. I think I did it yesterday, but I wasn't paying enough attention. So I have done exactly 10 miles at 10 a.m. this morning. So this is my first official day doing that. The last 2.5 miles have basically, the trail could have been nicknamed Dodge the Poodle Dog Bush. There's a point where I literally had to take off my backpack, put it underneath in the space that there was between a poodle dog bush on both sides of the trail, and then crawl after my backpack so that I didn't get touched by the plant on either side. I think I'm gonna hike forward for another, I think less than 3 miles to our next water source and take a long break then. Here's all the poodle dog bush I've been dodging the last several miles. I need someone to explain to me how I'm supposed to dodge the poodle dog bush. This is a trail, and the poodle dog bush is hanging over it, and it's not just a matter of going to the left, because guess what? More poodle dog bush. I had to abort the PCT for the next little while. Thankfully, it has been walking or paralleling a forest road that I'm walking on now. The poodle dog bush just became way too much. It was obscuring the trail, and I'm just not willing to risk it. One hiker had said he's been brushing alongside and hadn't had an issue and just kept pushing through. And there have been some comments in Far Out saying that it's just a poodle dog bush lookalike, but I'm just not willing to risk it. So I just hiked about half mile, just cross country through the bushes to get to the forest road so I can walk along this for the next little bit to avoid the poodle dog bush. I'm back on the PCT sitting at a spring. I skipped probably about a mile of trail and walked the forest road instead. I had to go cross country from the road to the forest, from the trail to the forest road, and from the forest road back to the trail. That was a little bit sketchy. I did fall once on some shale, got a lot of foxtails in my socks and shoes, but honestly, so worth it. Before I picked up the camera and the guys already left, there were some guys at the spring where I am currently sitting. And they said the poodle dog bush got really bad, so I'm glad I went up to the forest road to avoid that section. So far today I've gone 12.6 miles and about 2,300 feet of elevation gain. And if I make it to where I plan to go today, I have another 8.6 miles and 1,600 feet of gain. But I am just eating some cold soaked mashed potatoes and taking a short break. I think I'll hike another 1 to 2 hours and then take about a 2-hour siesta before finishing up for the day. There's the trail
we came from, walking along this mountain. Then that flat land off in the distance is the desert, Mojave Desert. So tomorrow we'll get into Hikertown. It's basically someone's property that's right along the trail. That's 3 miles before the LA Aqueduct section of the PCT. And basically the PCT cuts across a corner of the Mojave Desert and goes along the aqueduct, I believe, for 17 miles, maybe 20 miles. And so because it's in the desert, extremely exposed, 99% of hikers tend to do it at night, which would be my plan for tomorrow night. Basically, people tend to group up at Hikertown, wait till 7 or 8 o'clock, and start hiking that section. The trail has turned into an obstacle course right here. I am leaving my siesta spot. Sorry, itchy leg. I just sat there for about 2.5 hours, taking a break, escaping the heat, although the heat hasn't been too bad today. I hiked 17.1 miles to get to the spot, or 16.9, something like that. And it was a 1/4 mile off trail, but it was flat, shaded, perfect spot for a siesta. Now, my next quandary is, I was originally planning to hike another 4.2 miles to a water cistern and camp there, which would set me up for 15 miles into Hikertown tomorrow morning, like I talked about earlier. And I'd get there around 11 to noon, rest, and then head out to do the aqueduct. The aqueduct is the 17-mile stretch, but people normally do 20, 25, I want to say. Now, doing that after doing a 15-mile day into Hikertown is obviously going to be exhausting. But if I don't do it tomorrow night, then I basically just have to sit at Hikertown for 36 hours. So get there Saturday morning and sit there till Sunday evening. And I don't want to do that. So I definitely want to hike out of Hikertown Saturday night. I guess I just didn't space this section as ideally. I don't know that there's anything I could have done differently, but it just didn't space this section ideally. Could have added another day or something like that, but at this point I don't want to just stay at this spot where I did my siesta and add another day. So if I'm feeling good when I get to the water cistern, then I will hike a little bit further. So the water cistern will bring me to 21 miles for the day, which will be my second day over 20 miles, but I am feeling good. So if that keeps up, I'll hike a little bit further and cut off some of those 15 miles for tomorrow to make tomorrow a little bit easier, but we'll just see how I feel. But here's the trail walking back from the little campground that I took my siesta at. This is my tent spot for the night, and once again you can see the desert as in all that flat space behind. The wind might be a little bit rough up here, but we'll make it through the night. And this is the cistern where I'm going to get my water from tonight. Good morning from day 10. I don't think I talked when I got to camp
last night. I camped at a water cistern, which is basically just a huge concrete water storage place, with 3 other hikers, Isabel, Lovechild, and Sweetwater, or Shitwater. Yesterday I did 21 miles. My right arch is starting to hurt again, so I do wonder if I need certain type of arch support, but the rest of my feet is feeling great. It is 5:10 a.m. today, day 10, and I'm planning to hike into Hikertown. I'm still extremely uncertain how I'm gonna do the aqueduct. It's a very, I don't know, it's a very highlight or point of the trail, like a that you do with a group and have fun hiking it at night. But I'm waiting for hikers who are ahead of me who have done it, and one was doing it last night, to kind of hear how it goes, because it sounds like most people leave Hikertown and hike at minimum 17 miles, if not 20 miles. And I'm not sure I could do that tonight after hiking 15 miles into Hikertown. Or also, I'm just not sure that I could do that in general at night. People start at like 5 o'clock and hike 20 miles. And I'm just not sure that me being a morning person, me being who I am, that I could hike until 1 or 2 or later a.m. So I'm waiting to hear if it's possible to, like, or if people are doing that, hiking out like 10 miles past Hikertown, camping, and then waking up early in the morning, how windy that is, etc. And some of this will be figuring out once I get to Hikertown, talking with other hikers and seeing what they're doing, because the 3 I camped with last night, and then Emily from the night before, are all planning to get to Hikertown today, then hang out and wait till tomorrow night, Sunday night, to do the aqueduct. So a lot of ifs. Like I said, my arch is hurting. Yesterday it didn't start hurting until about 15 miles in. Today it is hurting a little bit right off the bat, but we'll just see how it goes. Mojave Desert. It is 10 a.m. So far today I've gone 12.8 miles, and I have 2.4 left to go to get to Hikertown. I don't know how accurate it is, but my thermometer says it is already 87 degrees out today, which is why I'm pushing to get these miles done early, because whatever the temperature actually is, it feels hot and it is very draining. So 2.4 miles left to go to Hikertown. The last 0.8 miles of Hikertown, just a straight shot. You can see 2 hikers ahead of me.
I saw you up there too, and yeah, like split second.
end of day 8. I am camped out at a place called Weeville Market. So I hiked 15 miles into Hikertown this morning, got there by 11, and took a quick shower there, did bucket laundry with my clothes, and ultimately decided that I didn't want to do the aqueduct tonight after I've hiked 15 miles into Hikertown. Ideally you hike 12 to 20 miles on the aqueduct when you head out, and just not something that I felt was a good idea after hiking 15 miles today. So I relaxed for an hour, then I hitched to a place called Weeville Market. I hitched with another hiker. At the time that we were hitching, there were 6 of us, and we split up into groups of 2. So me and another male hiker hitched, and we actually got a ride in a semi-truck. Weeville Market is 9 miles down the road. It's basically a convenience store with some food. So they had amazing burritos and fries. I'll probably have ice cream later. They let us use their bathroom, charge, have water, and then we camp out in the yard. And then the plan will be tomorrow we'll hitch back to Hikertown. Hikertown is not a town, it is just someone's property that's right on the AT. It's the Old Western. I have a video, but it's they have a themed Old Western, and so we'll hitch back there tomorrow to start the aqueduct section around 5. I think I mentioned earlier, but the reason we night hike the aqueduct is because it actually is the only section of Southern California where you actually go through the Mojave Desert. So it's very exposed, very flat, very few water sources, so it's just not safe to hike it during the heat of the day. And then also good stargazing at night. So we'll do that tomorrow night. I'm camped at Weeville Market. There's Mia, Soren, Isabel, Emily, and then also 4 new hikers I met today: Shitwater, Love Child, Emma, and Georgia.